The first one is man was designed for person-to-person relationship with a personal God. Man was designed for a person-to-person relationship with a personal God. So in short, God made you a personal person. You are God's personal possession. You are God's personal possession. He created you for personal relationship. God owns you. He created you for his pleasure. You see how if men want to be pleasured, they look for PlayStation. Right? When a man is playing PlayStation, they are pleasured. When God wanted to feel pleasured, he created man for a person-to-person relationship. That's why God will come in the eve of the evening or in the eve of the day, jioni, and you'd come and talk to man face to face and ask man, what do you think about this? What should we call these animals? And they would name the animals with God. He will tell God, I'm thinking of calling this elephant. God will tell him, that's okay. It's a good idea. You tell God, I'm thinking of calling this platypus, and it will become platypus. I'm thinking of calling this frog, and God will say, that's a good idea. They had a personal relationship with God. Even that's how God discovered that man was lonely. Because God realized that the only time this man is having communion is when it's me and him. So he said, it's not good for man to be alone. Let us make of him. They had a personal relationship that God would notice when the man is lonely. That is why that is how God created you to relate with him. To have a person-to-person relationship. That God can notice when you are lonely. God can notice when your emotions are running helter-skelter. God can notice when you're about to be depressed. God has created you to have a person-to-person relationship with God. He owns you. You are his possession. But God had to create you from a more humble background to undercut the tendency of pride in the creature. Number two, the second unique feature that singles out man from every other creature is that God, when creating man, he had to stoop. In creating man, God had to stoop. To stoop ni kuinama. Inama kidogo, shika magoti. God had to stoop in the creation of man. You see, God does not stoop. God does not bow. People bow to him. But in the creation of man, because man was coming from a very humble origin, God himself had to bow. I repeat, God does not bow. Others bow to him. God does not bow to anyone. It's like if you go to the president, who is supposed to bow? The president does not bow to you unless you're higher than him. And who is higher than him anyway? Nobody. That's God. So he'll only bow to God or to a priest. When he sees a priest, you'll see him bowing. But to every other person, he will not bow. He will see a pastor and bow because the pastor is the representative of God. So he's not even bowing to the pastor or the priest. He's bowing to God. But when God was creating man, he had to stoop. Then he went even further and stooped even more and molded the body of man or Adam's body from clay. He stooped and molded the body of Adam from clay. Ushaona watu hiyo kicheza na matope. Alafu wana create kagari. Wanasema hii ni gari yangu. You, because you are big, you consider that nonsense. Right? It's funny, right? Now imagine for God to create you, the entire heaven, and to see him bow and create a creature from clay. How humbling is that? Very humbling. Because the entire of heaven was mesmerized.
Thank you for watching. We have a lot of nourishing videos uploaded weekly. So don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of our lives or any of our videos that we upload. Also, don't forget to share with a friend. You can also meet us every Sunday for our 2 services. Our first service starts at 9 a.m. and our second service starts at 12 noon. Thank you.
Oh.